Hey everybody, what's up? Today we are going to be doing something a little different that I have been writing about in the emails that I've been sending out to you guys. We're just going to be talking today. It's called a Yap session, which is something that I think the new generation has kind of come up with, like Gen Z or whoever. But we're actually going to be having this session where we just kind of talk about what I've seen happen in marketing this year, and then also kind of what I see coming up next year in 2026. And I'm also going to be opening the floor for people who want to join and come chat with us. So actually, I'm going to put that on the banner here right now. If you want to join up and ask questions or give your feedback or anything like that, feel free to come into StreamYard right there. And we can bring you up on stage and we can talk about marketing. You can ask your questions. We can look at your examples, etc. Just know that when you do request up, it may not be an immediate thing. I'll get to a point there where I'll be able to do it. I'll also put it in here in the comments. That should be showing up in the comments as well if you wanted to copy and paste it. But StreamYard, you can just open up a new browser, put in that link, and it'll let you come in. So we're going to talk about marketing. So I'm actually going to share with you guys this document that I've kind of put together. Let's see about this here. And forgive me, I'm using kind of a new setup. So let's see if I can't do this a little bit better. Awesome. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about, for all of you solopreneurs, small teams, small businesses, side hustlers who are kind of trying to figure out marketing for your business and how things have been going and what you need to be doing over the next year. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about what happened this year in marketing for small town businesses, for small operators, and let's talk about also what I think may be going to happen next year. So first off, let's kind of talk about what worked in 2025. People who were actually kind of promoting one kind of consistent, clear offer instead of juggling multiple offers, trying to promote lots of different products and services. But people are just kind of focused on that one offer. We see them having the most success and not always trying to do a lot of different things. Also, people who keep their marketing funnels simple, where they have one simple form or ad, they're driving people in and they're reminding them of that one offer. That has been working. People who are owning the list, y'all have heard me talk about this a lot. If you own the list through low friction lead magnets, if you're bringing them in, you're collecting their emails, their phone numbers, getting them into your ecosystem, that has been what I've seen working, where you own the list instead of rent it. Also, people who put dollars behind what's working, that paid amplification of your best post or your offer, and not just kind of spreading yourself thin, because so many of us have limited resources and we can only put kind of our best effort against one or two offers. Those people who are consistent, and you'll see that that I have on the screen there, consistency over creativity. When you're consistent with your one main offer, with your one main ad, we're seeing you be successful there, and consistency beats creativity almost all the time. Reminders beat reach. Reminders being that you stay on top of people. You'll notice that for this live stream, I sent out like 3 different reminder emails about it. It was kind of a last minute thing. But when you remind people and stay on top of it, instead of just throwing out messaging randomly. And then finally, trust is built through repetition, not just novelty. So that means when you're getting out there and you are repeating yourself and people are understanding what you believe in and what you stand for. These are some of the trends that are working. Now, I have this meme that I want to share. And let me take off this banner so you can see the whole thing here. When you explain what your job is to someone who is outside your field, right? So think about this as your customers as well. When you're trying to explain what you do to your customers who aren't necessarily familiar with what you do, it can be really confusing. And you need to keep things simple. You need to focus on that one offer and not overcomplicate things. And way too many entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, side hustlers get too caught up in explaining all the details and irrelevant things that people just don't necessarily care about. They don't fully, it doesn't matter to them, right? They want to just know how you can solve a problem for them. Okay. So I think that meme kind of helps illustrate what a lot of you are doing when you're overcomplicating things. Now, what didn't work in 2025? So I saw people posting more often, thinking that was going to help by just posting organically and getting out there more often, but it doesn't necessarily work because you don't have a strategy behind it. I also see people chasing trends instead of owning their niche. They chase what they see other people doing. I see people building multiple funnels and trying to do multiple different things instead of just one full funnel. People rely on the algorithm without a backup plan. That backup plan to me would be owning your audience instead of just relying on organic. I see people throwing out random discounts, but not having like an offer stack. And I'll talk about that more later. I see people switching out offers and trying different things instead of staying consistent with their one main focused offer. And then I also see some people actually creating overproduced content that doesn't work. For example, this video here, I mean, you see I'm on the free plan of StreamYard. I'm sharing a Google Doc with you. I'm not overproducing this. This is really simple and basic, bare bones. I'm not dressed up fancy. I'm just sitting in my kitchen here, going live and sharing my thoughts with you, right? But some of the biggest creators on the internet don't have overproduced content. They have really raw, down-to-earth, simple content that resonates with people, and people aren't worried about it looking perfect and polished. They just want real, authentic, valuable content, right? And so don't overthink what you're putting out there. Just get started. Get the content out there and see what's even resonating before people before you overproduce things, right, for people. So I'm going to show this on here again as well. If anybody wants to come on stage and ask questions, feel free to join up on the StreamYard. You'll be able to come on and chat with me on the live here. Feel free to join on the backstage. I'll see you come in. So copy this link. It's also in the comments, and you'll be able to come on stage. Okay, so let's go to the next section real quick. Let's keep moving. What's changing in 2026? Now, we're already seeing a lot of these things happen now. So this is really just kind of a continuation of what's changing going into 2026. The algorithms are rewarding more depth and not just volume, right? Just because you post a bunch doesn't mean the algorithm's going to pick you up. They reward quality content. Facebook wants more people to be on their platform and spend more time on their platform. So if you're putting out quality content on your business pages or on your personal brand, that people engage with and interact with, the algorithm is going to reward that. And you may only post a few times a week versus 2 or 3 times a day, right? So quality over quantity, the algorithm is going to reward it. Like I said before multiple times, one offer is going to outperform scattered marketing. You can't just throw a bunch of stuff out there, kind of like the last point with volume. You want one quality offer, promotion that has high quality behind it, that the algorithm is going to reward. Email continues to gain power over as social platforms get noisier. And you guys know that. You've seen what I've shown examples of email, the power of email. You get in front of people, you can say what you want to say, and it doesn't get limited by the social platform. But also there's just more and more social platforms that continue to pop up or change or whatever. Email continues to gain power. Like I said earlier, authentic, unpolished video beats scripted video. People just want real, authentic. They want to get that value. Local targeting is getting cheaper. It's actually pretty cheap to target people locally in your community if you have a local business, as opposed to national targeting. High frequency reminders outperforming high frequency content. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here. I want this to kind of get through to you people. Simplified messaging is winning over clever branding. So don't overthink your messaging. Get your points across and move on. People's attention spans aren't very long, so you want to catch them and not worry about being overly clever or cute with it, right? So these are the things that I see continuing to change going into 2026. Now, what's your advantage here? How will you win next year with some of these changes going on? Well, if you're a small team, if you're a solo operator, if you only have kind of a side hustle, so you're working a full-time job and trying to get your business growing and off the ground so you can go full-time, these are the things that you really, really need to pay attention to. Fast, right? I'm pivoting right now with Ruralpreneur. I'm changing some things that haven't been working, and I've got to continue to move, because if you just get stuck in the mud and you don't adjust things and you don't get out there and get rid of what's not working, you're going to get stuck and you're not going to see progress. you need to pivot quickly when something's not working and move on from it. Small teams are also, when I say small teams, that could be a team of one. You could be the only person on your team. And in this case, there is an I in team because you're the only one on it, right? So you need to go deep on one offer and one funnel, right? That's where you're going to win, is really niching down and focusing on that one thing, so that your limited resources and time and money and whatever can go into making that one thing be the best it can be. Once again, small teams, they're going to have an advantage if they don't focus on the high quality production. Just clear, valuable, quality content that you're putting out. That's how you can win. Because of this, I didn't word this perfectly, but people will remember you in smaller markets because you're so focused on that one messaging. Think about taglines. Think about little things that companies pound over and over and over, like taglines like McDonald's, "I'm loving it," right? Or Geico, you can save 15% in 15 minutes or less through Geico on your car insurance, right? That's like a very memorized thing by the majority of the population, because they've hounded that one kind of offer, that one focus, and they have stuck with it instead of throwing a bunch of different things out there. And then finally, people trust real humans, not necessarily polished brands, especially in today's world with AI going on and like throwing all these fake, personalities and things out there. We want real, authentic connection with other humans, and that's what's working. And that's where people like us, solo operators, small teams, can really have that advantage of just being real and authentic, because humans are craving this right now. So it's something that you all really need to pay attention to if you want to have the advantage going into 2026. So what's that formula? What's that formula? Now, some of you have probably heard me talk about this before, but I continue to see this being the proven formula going into 2026 for small town entrepreneurs, solo operators, small teams, side hustlers even, right? For those of you who are still trying to get out of your 9 to 5 and get fully into your own project, you need to focus on one offer. For example, I'll give my example. My one offer right now for Ruralpreneur is my Main Street lead machine. So this is an offer I've put out there twice now that I've sold to people, brought them in the cohort. I'm not trying to sell people a bunch of different products. I'm selling this one offer, Main Street lead machine, and I'm focusing in on teaching people how to build out their lead machines where they can collect email addresses, where they can build their audiences that they own, and have a repeatable formula and system for marketing for their businesses. Right? So Main Street lead machine is clear, simple, and repeatable. It's the thing that people do want the most from me. They want to understand how to build their own marketing systems for themselves, where they can spend a small amount of money and get it up and going quickly. And it's something that I can fill very consistently because I know how to do it, right? So think about this. How does this apply to you and your business? What are you doing? What are you selling that can be made clear and simple to your audience, that people actually want from you? What are they enjoying? Like, what is the content that you've put out the most that people have kind of connected with and asked you about? And what is that thing that you can actually fulfill and do for people, right? Once you've got that offer figured out, you're going to have one funnel. You're going to capture their information. You're going to warm them up. You're going to convert them to the sale, and then you're going to repeat that. We're not going to make this complex. We're not going to stack a bunch of things on top of each other. We're going to make this one streamlined funnel, because we have to prove this before we can go wider with other ideas or concepts anyways. We've got to prove one polished, simple, consistent funnel first before we can do a bunch of other things, because many of us are just one person or a very small team. And so once you've got the funnel here, fix it, update it, clarify it, and then keep scaling it once it's working. And then one content engine. So for me, I put example, like I've had these, this is my first Yap session, but basically I'm pretty consistent with January, and I continue to have that content engine alongside my newsletter. And I just keep hitting that home, and I keep pouring all of my effort, my content effort, into this main one content engine instead of trying to be on all the different social media platforms. I'm kind of going away from LinkedIn actually, because I'm not seeing as much results there. And I'm seeing that people enjoy Coffee Call. They enjoy getting on these and discussing marketing topics and kind of asking questions about what they're doing or getting feedback, etc. So, this is kind of what I want to lean more into. Okay, so 6 questions. Actually, I only have 5 questions here. Number 6. Gotcha. 5 questions to guide your 2026 plan. What is that one offer that you want to be known for next year? What is that one thing you want to be known for? Who is the one audience that offer benefits the most? Which marketing funnel are you committed to for running all year? How are you actually going to grow and warm your list up, right? So once we've identified what that offer is, what the funnel is, and who it should be shown to, how are you going to grow that audience and keep your list warm? And then what are you actually willing to stop doing? I need to bold, underline, highlight everything this. What is that one thing what are those things you're willing to stop doing so that you can actually focus, right? You need to ask yourself these questions because this is going to be critical. This is going to be key to you actually being able to pull this off, to being able to have this clarity, to being able to be an effective with your one offer as you can. So these are the questions you really need to ask yourself going into 2026. And we've got a few weeks left here, but obviously it's a busy time of the year with the holidays and things going on. So you've got to start doing this now, because next thing you know, it's going to be January and you're going to feel behind. You're going to feel like now you're playing catch up from the people who already have their 2026 plans in place. So I've got the link here. It's also in the comments. If you want to join up and ask questions, if you want to talk about any of this with me, feel free to go in there to StreamYard. You can request up on the backstage, and we can get you in to talk on here. So I want to encourage you. Please come up. Please come chat with me. I'm happy to do it. I'll keep yapping a little bit, as it says here, Yap Session. I'll keep yapping here a little bit if nobody else comes on stage. But I do want to chat with you if you want to come up and ask questions or discuss with me. I want to go back and share this meme for those of you who maybe have come in a little bit later. But I think this meme really kind of sums up. Let me hide this one. This meme really sums up what way too many of you do. You're probably a solo operator. You have a small team. You're a side hustler, and you intimately know what you do, right? You know what services you offer, but to somebody outside your field, when you explain that to them, they may not necessarily get it. And so, as you guys just saw in that document where I was sharing with you all these trends that I see happening, the things that I see that are not working in marketing for small time operators and what's happening next year, this is one of the main points that I keep hounding on, is that people are overcomplicating things. They're giving way too much detail. They're sharing way too much, when at the end of the day, your potential buyer, your potential customer, they just want to know basically how you can solve this problem for them, and that you can fix this pain point that they have, that you can actually kind of help fix a problem in their life. They don't care how you do it. They don't really want you to overly explain how you do it. They just want to know that you can do it, that you can fix this pain point for them. So that meme I thought was pretty funny there to kind of explain it. But for those of you who have joined in, we talked about what actually worked in 2025, which is one clear offer, simple funnels, owning your list instead of relying on the algorithm, and being consistent and being clear and repeating yourself. For example, like on this stream right now, there are viewers who came in who didn't see the beginning, or some of you who did see the beginning, and I'm repeating now even what we talked about, because sometimes it takes multiple times for us to hear things, for it to get through our head, for us to actually trust it, for us to actually believe in it, and to go through with things, right? So the things that we see working for people this year are those who are clear, consistent, and repeat themselves. They don't overcomplicate things, right? And then the people who struggled, or the things that fell apart, were the people who just threw a bunch of stuff at the wall. They weren't clear. They didn't necessarily repeat themselves. They may throw it out one time and not get any reaction, and then they just quit. They switch offers. They try different things. They're random. And they overproduce their content. They don't keep their content simple, right? This isn't a fancy presentation. I'm working out a Google Sheet, Google Doc right here, right now, to talk about this topic. This isn't a fancy presentation. What is continuing to change into 2026? The algorithm is rewarding quality, not quantity. Email is gaining power. Authentic video is beating over polished scripted video, and localized targeting is getting cheaper. Simplified messaging is winning. And so these advantages are going to help you out if you're a solo operator, if you're a side hustler, people who can pivot fast, who can focus on one main clear offer, those who can get their message out to their core audience, and people who can be human about things and not overly produce what they're doing. So one offer, one funnel, one main content engine, not trying to overdo things. And then these are the questions to guide you in 2026 on how you can achieve these goals, right? So I don't have anybody asking to join up, so I'm going to talk for a couple more minutes and then end the live. Unless somebody wants to come on and chat, I would love for you to come on and ask questions or give your thoughts or your ideas on this. Okay, I do have somebody coming on. Don, can you hear me? Don, can you speak into your mic? Make sure that that's working before we bring you up. We'll try this here. Hey, Don. All right, Don is having some audio trouble, so I've got him on here. Don, when you can get through where I can hear you, I'll bring you up on the stage. Until then, I'll kind of keep chatting for the time being. Yeah, I've got you on here. I'm just seeing that your audio is not coming through, Don. You don't need any camera, Don, just microphone, as if you can at least just speak into the mic. For those of you who are here while Don is getting his microphone going, I'll continue to leave the banner up here if you want to join backstage and talk. I do see some comments in the section while Don's getting his mic going. Patricia says her biggest issue is how to get customers in the door. So where do you market to find local visitors into your gallery? Yeah, what kind of gallery do you have, Patricia? Let me know. And where are you located as well? But what I'll say is, there's a number of different ways you can obviously do this. What I've been teaching in my Main Street Lead Machine and how I have been kind of focused on getting people in the door, helping other people get customers in their door, is that I've really been teaching this system where we use Facebook ads to drive people to your email list, where you collect those emails, and then you leverage the power of email to stay in front of your customers. So Facebook is kind of the doorway to get people introduced to your brand or whatever you're doing. And then we use email to stay in front of them and keep it cost effective, because it doesn't continue to cost you all these ad dollars to send out emails, right? Okay, so I see you have an art gallery in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Nice. That's a long way from me. I'm in Louisiana. But yeah, one of the ways I'm really seeing a lot of people win is using low-cost, localized Facebook ads, and they're driving in traffic to their email list, building their email list up, and then sending out emails to, like in your case, it might be that you have a special artist signing that's coming in to visit or to have a meet and greet or things like that. And you can leverage that email to get people in the door to a specific time and specific date. And we also know that people who give you their email address, they are very much familiar with you. They have voluntarily given you their email address. So they're telling you that they want to hear from you. That's kind of my recommendation now. Don, if you're hearing me twice, it might be because you're in StreamYard and YouTube. So mute me on YouTube and just leave the audio on StreamYard, and then maybe that'll come through properly, and we can try that. See if that'll work. Cool. Patricia, thanks for sharing that question. Anybody else have questions they want to share? You can share in the comments as well, but I'd love to bring you up on stage for us to chat and talk out loud about it and have some back and forth. I think that's a lot of fun as well. But yeah, Patricia, that's kind of what I'm seeing there now. All right, Don's trying this again. We're going to get Don on. Let's see if we can make this work. Don, can you hear me? There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I got you.
All right. I'm sorry for the confusion.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
I want to thank you for what you're talking about this morning, because it just kind of confirms things that have percolated through to me this year. I'm trying to market to a small town that has been resistant until just the last few years to anything having to do with the internet or social media. I was trying to get them to do SEO and things like in 2010, and I got nowhere. So I gave up and, went back to a national audience. But since people started coming back into the shop since COVID, everything's changed. Everybody is on social now. And so I've pivoted back to the local audience, and I'm starting a local newsletter, and I'm getting really great uptake to join the list from, as you just said, Facebook ads, a very simple thing for now, a single ad running $7 a day, and I'm getting 7 to 10 leads into my funnel every day. I'm putting out a weekly events newsletter, and people seem to really like it.
Yeah. No, I love that, Don. I'm actually doing something similar as well. I have a local newsletter here where I live, and this is kind of tying into that power of email, right? Which is
Yeah.
I started a local newsletter and I just share community events that are going on, sports, music, like live music at a restaurant or a bar, parades, business highlights, etc. But that local newsletter is always sponsored by my coffee shop at the top of the newsletter. And so my business is seen no matter what. So I love that you're doing that. I think that's very powerful. And it's amazing that you're only spending $7, $8 a day. I mean, I only spend about $10 a day. And, in a smaller community, that's enough. You can get in front of enough people.
Yeah, I'm getting click-throughs. I'm getting leads for less than 75 cents a piece,
Yeah, it's
which
fantastic.
they say is great. But my question is,
Okay.
in your rural area, do you see niches in terms of marketing, niches that are more receptive right now? I know local restaurants are just dying,
Mm-hmm.
and yet they refuse to market.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it's a balance between wanting to help people, but then you can't go after people who simply do not know what they're doing, because they will drag you down with them, and I have hard experience in that.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
You become their savior, right?
yeah. No, exactly. You've got a great point, Don. And yeah, I would say I don't know if I have insight on like specific niches that may be more or less responsive, but what I will say is, I do agree. Like I see a lot of restaurants who refuse to market, and this is also something that I would say this is why I've gotten into doing a lot of this is because I love marketing. I have a passion for marketing, and I actually have a coffee shop, right? And so my coffee shop is a franchise location. So the franchise system part of has close to 200 locations of coffee shops, and I just own one. I just have
Mhm.
one here in my town. But so many of the franchisees, we get together and we talk about business, we talk about marketing, we talk about whatever. And so many of them are complaining about, corporate's not doing this, corporate's not marketing for us, they're doing wrong, this, and this. And I tell them like, well, what are you doing to market your store locally? Because I'm not seeing you put out a lot of effort, whereas like I'm getting out there and interacting with schools, with local businesses. I'm doing things like business of the week. I'm doing school discounts. I'm doing discounts for teachers and nurses, right? First responders, things like that. And I'm really getting ingrained in the community on top of layering that with the local newsletter. And so that effort, I'm like, my store's doing pretty good right now, but it's because we're getting out there and marketing it. And I think so many small business owners, solopreneurs, side hustlers, et cetera, they know they need to market and they see that, but they're unsure limited resources. And so that's why I think it's really cool. And I'm so glad to see that you're doing $7 a day, getting leads for 75, 80 cents a piece. And it's very realistic. I get those same kind of numbers here in my community. And I'm not sure where you're located, but across the board, we're seeing hyper localized ad efforts being very affordable instead of going national. So I know I maybe didn't fully answer your question yet, and so you're welcome to ask it again. But that's kind of my thoughts based on what you were saying.
Well, that's great. That's great confirmation for me. I guess my follow-up would be, are
Mhm.
you seeing one foot in the door marketing service that, appeals to the widest range of local merchants?
Describe that question differently. I'm not sure I'm fully following.
Well, if someone isn't doing anything right now,
Okay.
do you think the best way would be to tap in their existing audience by building a list and marketing to them, or more visibility related stuff like, Google business pages and things like that, or
Gotcha.
reviews?
Yeah, it depends on the business type. So for something like, for example, a coffee shop or restaurant, I do think there should be efforts put on Google because those reviews hold a lot of weight. And people, Google is a platform for higher intent. So if you're looking for something actively, you go to Google, you search, and you want your business to show up, right? Now, if you're in a business that's not quite like that, like a high intent. So for example, my marketing business here, people aren't necessarily going to Google to immediately look at that, make a decision, go do business and be done. It's something that takes time where you have to nurture them and warm them up and kind of build that relationship. So it depends on the space you're in, right? So if you've got something like this, for example, I'm talking to people about marketing, talking about growing your business, and people are consuming my content. They're getting familiar with me. I want to get them on my newsletter where I can drip content to them constantly and kind of build up that relationship over time to where eventually they will, pull the trigger there. With the coffee shop, it's not really that. It's more of it's a lot shorter sales cycle is the way I'll put it. So more instant awareness just with Facebook ads or Google is where I would go if you're in that kind of space.
Great. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. No, thanks for coming up. Okay, let's remove Don there. Awesome. Thank you for coming on, Don, and asking that question. That was great. I actually have something else I want to see if I can share on the screen here real quick. Let's see here. This is actually nope, that's not right. Okay, I'll find it. But while I'm finding it real quick here, I'll go ahead and look. There's another comment on here from Four Diamonds Ranch. What is your first choice for social media? There's no right or wrong like blanket statement. I will say this though, still to this day, for paid ads on social media would be Facebook. And the reason is because everybody's on Facebook. And you might think, well, my audience isn't there. Like I'm in a B2B space. So like LinkedIn might be the place for me. Not necessarily. Those people on LinkedIn are still on Facebook. Like they still have personal Facebooks. You can still reach them there, right? LinkedIn is a place for specific types of content, but I don't think it's necessarily that you would have to be there, right? Just for that type of audience. But at the end of the day, I go where everybody's at, and everybody's on Facebook, so I can still catch them there. And that's and then like also kind of like YouTube, which is why I'm looking at this shift over to YouTube for me from LinkedIn, because LinkedIn's a lot more closed. YouTube and Facebook, right? So my answer there is Facebook for paid ads, absolutely. Patricia did mention like suggestions for other than Facebook ads. My second go-to is Google because of higher intent audiences. So people, if somebody's ready to make a decision, they go to Google and say, okay, coffee shop near me, right? Or, best seafood restaurant in, town ABC. So I do think Google ads are probably the second strongest platform. It does depend on your industry, as I was talking about with Don. So you do want to take that into consideration, how important Google ads would be, but it's definitely really strong for high intent audiences who are ready to make a decision. I'm going to share an article that I saw. Actually, I received it yesterday. And we'll see if we can't share this over. Yeah, we can. So this is by QSR Magazine, and this is quick service restaurant is what QSR stands for. And so I received this because I'm in the QSR industry with my coffee shop, and it was really, really interesting. So their article basically was talking about how relevance, not demand, is the real battleground. And so the brands that are willing to localize, personalize, and adapt at the store level will be the ones winning share. And so this is where I talk about putting out that authentic content and messaging at your business is going to win over just trying to, blast your message out there, but actually putting out relevant quality content is where we're seeing local businesses win. And even this is being looked at the national level with national brands, with franchise, locations. They're in their communities, and they're trying to find ways to become relevant within their communities, within their target audience, right? And so I just thought this was really interesting. Look at these big brands. Burger King posted a 4% same store sales growth by pairing value with sharper menu relevance, by getting more granular, getting more focused with their offer, and not just having this broad, menu, right? And so you're seeing all of these national brands that are giving people what they want and being relevant, instead of just kind of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what works. And so because of the economy and the softer economy, we're all battling to get people's dollars right now, right? And I thought this was really interesting here as well. Relevance is local and it's contextual, right? Same brand, same national marketing plan, completely different realities. And so it all depends on what's going on in your community, within your market, things of that nature. And so I thought this article was really cool to look at. So if there's anybody else that wants to come up on stage, the link is here. It's in the comments as well. Yep, that's the link to the comments. So you're welcome to come up and talk. Thank you, Don, for coming up and chatting with me as well. You didn't leave me hanging. So Don's got my back. I appreciate that. I've got some questions here in the comments that you all asked. So appreciate you asking those questions there as well. We'll go a couple more minutes, and then if nobody else has questions, we'll wrap it up. But I hope you all kind of take something from this, that you've kind of learned about the trends, about what's happening, and how important it is that we have to be so strategic. As small operators with small teams, we don't just have endless resources like larger companies do. We have to really be strategic with our limited dollars. I don't have a huge marketing budget for my coffee shop. I have to really be strategic with it. And I don't have money to just blast ads and billboards and radio and TV and all that everywhere. But I have to be smart with my dollars. And the worst feeling is wasting marketing dollars and not seeing anything in return come back on that. So that's why it's so important that these things that I've been talking about, that you apply them, that you ask yourself those questions. I can share those questions back one last time before we go offline. These are the questions you need to ask yourself for 2026. What can you focus on? Who needs to hear that message? What are you committed to doing? And what are you committed to stop doing so that you can focus on this plan? So these questions, write them down, screenshot it, whatever you've got. And I'll also put out that shameless plug. If you all don't mind liking this video, subscribing to my channel, I'm about to move all of my video content over here to YouTube. We're going away from the Rural Founders Club, which was on Circle, which is kind of like a closed community. We will actually be moving all of my lives over here to YouTube, so it's a lot easier for people to see. So if you would, please like this video, please share it, please subscribe, all that stuff that you hear all the YouTube creators make. If you don't mind doing that, I'm actually going to share this link here where people can view this because I see that you asked it in here. So here's the link. I'm actually sharing this in the comments here. You can go to the doc here and actually see the entire document and look it over yourself after the live's over. So take that link there and check it out for yourself, download it, whatever you want to do with it. You're welcome to do that. But yeah, it would be much appreciated if you guys would subscribe to the channel. That way you can get notifications when I do future lives like this and post any other videos. So that would be great. Okay, I don't have anybody else coming up on stage to ask questions. So I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. Click the link in there to get that document with all of the slides here, all of the content here. Feel free to reach out to me, message me, anything like that. You guys can just respond to those emails that I sent out to you, and that'll come straight to me, and I'm happy to respond. And then also be on the lookout. I'm going to be hosting a webinar kind of similar to this, but a little more formal in preparation for the next cohort of Main Street Lead Machine. We've had 2 cohorts so far. Everybody is having tons of success. It's been crazy to see how some of these people are killing it with their new, what we call lead machines. They are, I have one person who started Facebook ads and he generated over 500 new subscribers to his local newsletter. I have another user who got 68 leads, I think at about $1.50 or $1.60 a piece, and actually spent about $200 a piece, which was $600. So they got a 3x return. And it was simply them stepping out in faith, putting in a focused funnel to drive leads to their business where they could close deals, make the money, and then reinvest that money in more marketing, and with the ultimate goal of working for themselves. So I'm going to be hosting another cohort of Main Street Lead Machine starting in the 1st of January. So if you're interested, feel free to respond to an email and let me know. I can also actually send you a link right here in the chat. This is where you can actually sign up to be notified next time that we have a webinar and that we open the registration. It's pretty affordable. It's not very expensive, and it allows small-time solo operators like us to build marketing systems very affordably for themselves, to leverage the power of these social media platforms with a focused offer, with a clear offer, and you can get up and running very, very quickly and not waste just tons of ad dollars. You don't have to hire a marketing agency. You can do this yourself. That's the whole point of this, is that we can empower you to do this yourself, to run your own ads, to see the efforts and get quick results. So I'm excited to get that going in January as well. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you all so much for coming up to this first Yap session. As the kids say these days, Gen Z says Yap session. It's a talking. We're just here to chat, talk about things. We're going to be having more of these coming up soon. And then as I've said, Coffee Call will be coming back in the 1st of January as well. So you all have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. See ya.